Hi, this is Jackie from the Colorado Quilter, and today I'm going to teach you how to do a very simple paper piecing project. For those of you that have never done paper piecing, your pattern is going to be on your piece of paper. You're going to cut your fabrics, and then you're going to sew along the lines that are on the paper, and then when you open up your sewing, you'll have a perfect block. First of all, I've been quilting for a while, and this is something that is really important. Whenever you are cutting into a new piece of fabric, you see on the bottom here where it tells me that this is Moda fabric. Love Moda fabric, but it'll tell me that this is called Flower Market, and it's from Moda. So if ever I ran out of this in the middle of a project, at least I have someplace I could start looking, contacting quilters or fabric stores to see if they still have it in their stock. First of all, we are going to cut both fabrics in 4.5-inch squares. So I've already cut my first line of 4.5 inches, and I'm going to move that away. This is the two fabrics I'm using today. I think the contrast will be nice with those colors, nice and bright. My second cut is going to be also 4.5-inch squares. Okay. So I'm going to cut off my salvage edge, get a nice clean cut. 1, 2, 3, 4.5. Right there. Go ahead and give that a cut. And 4.5. We'll give that another cut. And I should have enough fabric right now to make this simple paper piece square. Once you master a simple block, the patterns can get very intricate, but the part about it is your blocks points will be perfect, and you'll look like you're a pro in no time at all. Okay, I'm going to have this be my center block. So this is 4.5-inch square. It's going to go over the center of the paper. My other blocks are going to be cut on the diagonal, like this. I have both blocks on top of each other that I just cut. So there's 2 layers there of this red fabric. One on the diagonal that way. Okay, so now we've got our 4 pieces. So let me just give you a quick look at what that's going to look like. And then you can follow me over to my sewing machine, and we're going to put this little baby together. Isn't that going to be so cute? And your points are going to be perfect for when you sew them to another block. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is have our fabric laying next to us, and we're going to take our original piece and we're going to line it on the back. It's good to have something like a window or a light so that you can see through the paper and see where your markings are, so you know where to stitch. So I'm going to put a couple of pins in here. You'll see what I'm doing. You'll see that I'm lining it up on the back side because I'm going to sew these 2 pieces together. Okay, so there's my first piece, and then my second pieces are going to go like this. Okay, let's sew that first seam. You'll see just how easy and rewarding it is. You'll see that I'm just starting here. This is my original piece of paper that I made with my photocopy machine, and just stitch right down that line. Let me show you how nice that seam looks. There you go. Notice that this is important. You want to have enough fabric over the outside of your block, because that line right there, that's going to be your 1/4 inch seam for sewing it to your next block. So if you sew your fabric together, but you can't see it when you turn it over, take it out, reposition it, but make sure that when you turn it over, this is your way of checking. You've got to be able to see your fabric past that 1/4 inch seam. Okay, we're going to flip it back over again. Here's block number 2. We're going to do the same thing. And in just a few minutes, you're going to have your first block completed. Okay. Just notice I'm starting right there on that line. Block number 2. And it goes all the way out to the end of my paper. You can see it's a little tight right there, but I've got plenty to use. This one as well. You can see that there's fabric hanging off that edge. Just 1 second to press this open. We get nice clean seams when we put those other 2 blocks on there. Look how nice that looks. All right, remember I'm flipping it back over. I have to position my fabric on here. Flip it over, hold it up to the light, make sure I've got it pretty close to that line, but so that when I sew my seam, it will fit all the way to the corner. So here's my other seam. Here's my other seam. Again, this is a test. If you do this every time, you won't be disappointed. See how the fabric is covering that corner. And look at this. We have 1 more seam to sew. I'm going to put it up to the light to make sure that it's lined up good. Again, I'm sewing on my corner line here. Now let's go to the table and cut it. Quick, I'm going to first give yourself a quick little press. It's so much easier to get a nice clean cut when your fabric has been pressed. Don't be worried about if these don't line up or anything, because the only thing we're worried about are these points right here for now, because once I flip this over, do you see all that waste? Look up at the light. Do you see how there's plenty of fabric going around on all 4 corners? You know what? That gives me 100% satisfaction knowing that I'm not going to find out that I didn't cut it big enough. Now, make sure you cut right along your paper for that quarter. You want to keep that 1/4 inch seam. So line it up with your seam line. This is the seam line I'm cutting on, is the solid line. I'm using it on the 1/4 inch line on my mirror, or on my we're right there. Get rid of that waste. Again, 1/4 inch cut, lining that 1/4 inch line against the line, and get rid of that waste. And you have just made your first 1/4 inch block square. Once you sew a bunch or sew more of these together, you can change the colors, or you can change blocks that are all this size with different patterns. But this is the first video I'm going to be posting, a simple video about how to make a paper pieced piece. Happy quilting!